Hello and welcome back to Across the Gulf Coast. Well, now we're joined by Dan Verda. He is the Executive Director of the Panhandle Warrior Partnership. Dan, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things that your organization does and a special event coming to Fort Walton Beach here in just a minute. But let's start with Panhandle Warrior Partnership and your organization and what your mission is here locally.
Well, Panhandle Warrior Partnership is a nonprofit organization. It's a 501c3 that we've been around for a little bit over a year in the local area. We just recently transitioned from Fort Walton Beach to Pensacola so that we could cast a wider net over veterans in the local area. We serve the entire 1st Congressional District, the 6 counties that make up the 1st Congressional District. We're a nonprofit group that focuses specifically on veterans of all generations, and our goal is to empower veterans through a program of community collaboration designed to connect veterans and their families to the local community through their benefits. So benefits for education, for health, jobs, housing, that sort of thing.
Okay. How do y'all go about doing all this? How are you funded and how are you able to help these veterans?
Well, we're funded through grants, sponsorships, and local donors. And all money stays local. So any money that is sent to us is specifically used for programs here in the 1st Congressional District in these 6 counties.
Sure.
To answer your question on how we go about doing it, we have a 4-step program for engagement. The 4 steps are to connect, educate, advocate, and collaborate. We got to connect with the local veteran, one, to find out who they are and to assess needs. Educate is kind of a twofold mission. We educate the veteran on what benefits are available to them. As well, we educate the community on benefits that the veterans bring to the community. Advocate, if they hit a wall in their benefits process, we can step in to assist with that as well. If we see some sort of problem with the benefits process, we can also advocate to petition change. And then, of course, the collaborate is one of the big things that we do. We work with over 100 partners in the local area to make sure that veterans have the care that they need.
You said you've been around for a little over a year now. Did you see a lot of need for this organization here locally, and why so? Absolutely.
The organization was founded in Fort Walton Beach originally. It was before I got here. I've only been with the organization since November. The need here really has to do with the fact that the military has been releasing about 200,000 people a year back into the population. And although the national average for people who have served is 1%, here in the local area we have out of 750,000 people in these 6 counties, 106,000 are veterans. So that's 14% of the local population of veterans. So when they transition from one community to another, their military community to the civilian community, in some ways you're at a disadvantage. You don't have a network built, your reputation as a worker is not well established. So those are things that we can help them with, as well as making sure that their benefits, which is very complex to secure, that they have all the benefits, that they don't leave any sitting on the table.
Let's talk about that a little bit, the transition you mentioned back into the community. A lot of times you might hear, in the news or out in the community about how some of the veterans coming home are having that difficult time transitioning back into the regular life. How would you say, is that an accurate depiction, you think?
Well, I would say that transition is challenging, without a doubt. And although some can transition easier than others, for the most part, you have to remember that you're leaving one community, one lifestyle for another. And sometimes you're dropped in a place where you're not familiar with at all. So I like to tell people, imagine that you were taken out of where you grew up and where you established yourself professionally and put on the other end of the country and dropped off and told go. It can be very complicated.
Well, how can the community help? What are some things that people watching at home can do to get involved, whether it's supporting your organization financially or helping veterans, hiring veterans? What are some of the things that they can do?
Lots of ways. First of all, for businesses, sponsorships and grants are a great way to help. If local people want to donate, we're in the middle of a fund drive right now. We've been offered a grant from America's Warrior Partnership, our national affiliate, for $375,000. All we have to do is come up with a $125,000 match. That's a 1 to 3. Every dollar that's spent locally gets a $3 match from a federal donor. Other ways, volunteers. We do have a volunteer program. We look for volunteers for vet court. We serve vet court in 2 locations, both Escambia and Okaloosa counties. Okay. So we need veterans to volunteer for that. and as well just community support. When it's time to hire veterans, we have ways to be able to put veterans in touch with employers and vice versa.
Okay, and of course we got your website on the screen and phone number so people can contact you if they're interested in that. We got about a minute left, but I do want to mention the event coming up in Fort Walton Beach in April, later in mid-April. Tell me a little bit about that.
April 16th at the landing in Fort Walton Beach. It's the Fort Walton Beach Military and Veterans and Family Appreciation Day, and it's going to go all day from about 11 o'clock in the morning till it's going to end at 8 o'clock in the evening with a fireworks display. There's going to be bouncy houses for the kids. There's going to be local vendors, free music, free food. There's going to be veteran service organizations there, and and most importantly, there's going to be a drawing for a Scion 2016 Scion IM.
Nice. Very nice. And you said that's all free?
And it's all free.
Just a way to say thank you to the veterans for everything they do, and their families, of course.
That's right. And our active duty military as well.
Okay, great. So everybody involved with the military is invited. That's
absolutely.
Perfect. Dan, thank you so much for being my guest today. I really appreciate you coming on and telling us about your organization.
Thanks for this opportunity. Appreciate
Absolutely. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll be in Okaloosa County to talk about the Little Black Dress Party.